What if the biggest thing you have lost is not your time, your focus, or your peace, but yourself? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that most of your decisions are no longer truly yours. The way you think, what you desire, what you fear, what you chase, even the version of success you worship, where did all of it come from? Did you choose it? Or was it quietly handed to you by the world around you? Every day, millions of people absorb endless opinions, trends, expectations, and comparisons. Slowly, without noticing, they begin shaping themselves around what others approve of. They become experts at fitting in, but strangers to themselves. And the frightening part is that this transformation happens so gradually that most people never see it. They spend years building a life that looks impressive from the outside, while feeling disconnected on the inside. Tonight, we are going to explore a difficult question, one that most people avoid because the answer can change everything. Do you truly know who you are, or have you become a reflection of everyone else? No one loses themselves overnight. Identity rarely disappears in a single dramatic moment. Instead, it fades slowly. A small compromise here, a desire for approval there, a habit of comparing yourself to others. Over time, these small choices accumulate. You begin adjusting your behavior to fit expectations. You say what people want to hear. You pursue goals that earn admiration. You hide parts of yourself that may invite criticism. At first, these changes seem harmless. They help you avoid conflict. They help you belong. But eventually, a strange feeling begins to emerge. You achieve things, yet they feel empty. You receive praise, yet it feels distant. Something inside you recognizes that the life you are building is not fully your own. The digital world accelerates this process dramatically. Never before have human beings been exposed to so many opinions about how they should live. Every day, social media presents endless examples of beauty, success, happiness, productivity, relationships, wealth, and status. The message is subtle but constant. Become more like this, less like that. And because these messages appear thousands of times, they slowly shape your perception of reality. You begin measuring yourself against standards you never consciously chose. What once felt sufficient no longer feels enough. What once made you happy now feels ordinary. Comparison becomes automatic, and identity begins shifting away from authenticity toward imitation. One of the clearest signs that you are losing yourself is when your self-worth becomes dependent on external reactions. You start evaluating your life through the eyes of other people. Their approval becomes evidence of your value. Their criticism becomes evidence of your failure. The problem is that other people's opinions constantly change. If your identity depends on them, your sense of self becomes unstable. One compliment lifts you up. One negative comment brings you down. You become emotionally controlled by forces outside your control. The Stoics warned against this because they understood that a person who depends on external validation can never experience true freedom. Stoic philosophy teaches that your identity should not be built upon what others think of you. It should be built upon your character, your actions, your principles, your ability to live according to your values. These things remain within your control regardless of changing circumstances. Yet modern culture often encourages the opposite. It teaches people to construct identities based on image rather than substance. Appear successful, appear confident, appear interesting. The focus shifts from being something meaningful to appearing something desirable, and when appearance becomes more important than reality, authenticity begins to disappear. Many people spend years chasing goals they never personally chose. They pursue careers because they are respected. They buy things because they signal status. They follow trends because they fear being left behind. Yet after achieving these goals, they often experience confusion instead of fulfillment. The reason is simple. Achievement cannot satisfy a desire that was never truly yours. You can spend years climbing a ladder only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. The pain comes not from failure, but from realizing you succeeded at something that did not genuinely matter to you. The fear of being different plays a major role in this process. Human beings naturally seek belonging. We want acceptance. We want connection. But when belonging becomes more important than authenticity, we begin sacrificing parts of ourselves to fit in. We silence opinions, hide interests, suppress individuality. Gradually, we become skilled at presenting acceptable versions of ourselves. The danger is that after enough time, even we forget which version is real. The Stoics believed self-examination was essential. They regularly questioned their actions, motives, and desires, not because they doubted themselves, but because they understood how easily people drift away from their values. Without reflection, it is easy to spend years living on autopilot. Reflection interrupts that process. It forces you to ask difficult questions. Why do I want this? Why am I pursuing this goal? Is this truly mine, or was it inherited from someone else? One reason people avoid these questions is because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. It is easier to follow established paths than create your own, easier to imitate than explore, easier to seek approval than risk rejection. But comfort often comes at the expense of authenticity. Every time you choose acceptance over truth, you strengthen a version of yourself that may not actually reflect who you are. The modern world rewards conformity in subtle ways. Algorithms show you what is popular. Trends encourage imitation. Social pressure promotes sameness. None of these forces are inherently evil, but together they create an environment where individuality can easily disappear. If you never stop to examine your beliefs, desires, and goals, you may spend your entire life living according to someone else's definition of success. Recovery begins with awareness. Start noticing where your beliefs come from. Notice how often your decisions are influenced by comparison. Notice how frequently you seek approval before trusting your own judgment. These observations reveal patterns that normally remain hidden. And once patterns become visible, change becomes possible. Then begin reconnecting with your own values. Ask yourself what matters when nobody is watching. What activities feel meaningful even without recognition? What principles remain important even when they are inconvenient? These questions help separate your authentic desires from external expectations. The answers may not appear immediately, but the process itself is valuable.
As you reconnect with yourself, certain changes begin occurring naturally. Comparison loses power. Validation becomes less important. External noise becomes easier to ignore. This does not mean you stop caring about other people. It means your identity becomes rooted internally rather than externally. You begin living according to principles instead of reactions. The greatest freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. It is the ability to remain yourself, despite pressure to become someone else. A stable identity creates resilience because it cannot be easily manipulated by trends, opinions, or temporary emotions. You stop chasing every new direction the world offers. Instead, you move with clarity because you know who you are and what matters to you. So the next time you feel lost, pause for a moment and ask a simple question. Which parts of my life truly belong to me? Not what society expects, not what strangers approve of, not what trends encourage, you. Because the journey back to yourself begins with honesty, protect your values, question your assumptions, and never allow the noise of the world to define your identity for you. If this message helped you reflect more deeply, make sure you subscribe, because subscribing is free. And the next lesson may arrive exactly when you need it most.